Okay, here we are back in Club Safari, and this is gonna be my new sign for the, well, we're gonna put it by the road. We just finished painting the frame, as you can see, beautiful frame. So we're gonna put it by the road. There's another nice painting there on the wall. Here we are in Club Safari. And who's sitting here? Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Ah, what's your name?
Lisa.
Ah, this is lovely Lisa. What are you doing, Lisa?
Nothing, looking TV.
Oh, you're looking at the TV. Nice. What are you watching there? Some interesting program? Filipino TV. Okay, we're gonna walk a little bit. Let's go inside Club Safari here, upstairs. Let Lisa watch her TV. I'll show you some more paintings on the way. Of course, there's the Buddha. This is going upstairs, by the way, guys. If you ever come here to visit, there are some rooms upstairs. We have rooms in here. You enter this little hallway here. Let me be careful walking down. There's the bathroom down there, the toilet. We have some more paintings, oil paintings. Lovely, wavy. Okay, let me go upstairs quick. Then we're gonna start, we're going upstairs here. This is the little balcony. We have a room in there, so you guys are welcome. And then you have a little bit of a view, not the best view in the world right now, but you can see some greenery and so on. Okay, let me turn this thing around. I'm gonna sit here. Can you see me now? Oh, okay, there is my ugly mutt on camera now. Sorry for the shock, guys, but that's the way it is. Oh shit, I better adjust. Oh, wrong way. Okay, right, zoom out. There we go. Okay, I'll take my place here. We got a little my golden dragon in the background, and there we go. Shit. Okay, today I want to talk about this James Comey. Anyway, I just want to, quite a few years ago now, we're going back to the year 2003, more or less, right? And very interesting event, chain of events was taking place. Year 2002, I came from Shaolin Temple back to Taiwan because I cracked my knee. I think I mentioned that in the previous program. Somebody kicked me on the knee, and I had a cracked knee. It wasn't broken, but it was really cracked. I went to a Chinese doctor there in outside Shaolin Temple, the town nearby, Dengfeng. Well, outside of Dengfeng, this fucking guy had a long needle. I'm not kidding you. The needle was this long and about that thick, and he had the giant syringe, and he pushed the whole needle, you know, right in behind my knee and injected me with some kind of cortisone or something, which actually helped for a few weeks. I was feeling better, but of course, you know, this kind of injury is, and anyway, so I ended up back in Taiwan. I could hardly walk. I was in agony for months and months, even years. At that time, I started teaching English again, as tutoring as before. And there was this rugby team, right? They were getting ready to go and play, had a tournament in Bali. Now, for those of you who can cast your mind back, luckily for me, they were pleading with me, hey dude, we need a prop, you know, just come with us, you know, da, da, da. I was like, not the hell, man, I can hardly walk. What the hell? No, you don't have to worry, we're just going to party and drink, you know, it's tempting, but I was just like, there's no way, you know, I could even pretend to play, especially prop. So luckily I didn't go, because out of this team that went to Bali, you know, 4 of them died in the Bali bombings, 2002, including 2 of my friends, both South Africans, Craig Harty and Godfrey Fitz. Okay, and Godfrey Fitz, I think, was the last, according to another friend of mine who was the ambassador, South African ambassador in Indonesia. He was the last one to be, you know, identified by DNA testing 3 months after the bombing. And you know, the weird thing, we were talking about premonition, sixth sense, and stuff like that. The fact is that, according to Godfrey's father or family, he wrote 2 poems that both poems he kind of predicted his own death. Right, a year before he died, he was in South Africa, and after his death, they discovered this piece of paper where he wrote, "My face will be burned beyond recognition in a big fire." And then about a week before he died, he gave a poem to another South African lady who was teaching in Taipei. I think it was Lindy something, and it's in that he mentioned, he said, "Don't let me die in a foreign country." So somehow he knew that he was going to go. You know, it was weird, and he was a nice dude. He was very, very calm, quiet kind of person. So yeah, from Cape Town. Craig was my good friend. We used to hang out a lot, drinking, partying. He was a bit of a but very good businessman. And but to make it even worse, he was, you know, the big earthquake in Taiwan, which was fucking scary. That happened in I think they call it the the 21st of the 9th month, 1999. Sorry, 1999. The earthquake happened. That did zin, the big earthquake. That did zin, and it was luckily the epicenter was kind of a few hundred kilometers away from Taipei. But in Taipei itself, I was shitting myself. I thought it was the end, man. Mosquitoes. So you know, Craig was caught up in a lift. And he lived in a huge building. I think it was like 40, 50 floors. You know, he was coming down or up, and then boom, when that earthquake hit, boom, you know, he was caught in this lift, and he's, you know, the aftershock. This went on for days. I think he spent a few days in there in this dark lift, you know, surrounded by broken mirrors and shit. And after that, he went straight to South Africa. He was so shocked, but then he came back, and then he got it. You know, the bad thing happened to him in Bali. So. The other thing that happened that was in 1999, right? So anyway, 2002 now, I was in Taiwan, and then I decided to go back to China. So anyway, from in China at the time, there was the SARS. SARS was this huge outbreak of, I think it's some kind of bird flu or chicken flu or some shit. Or they said they got it from an animal. You know, there are many rumors the Chinese were trying to suppress it. SARS was basically this virus, you know, or that spread and killed people. And the whole area, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, was kind of just off limits, you know. And I was there. I was right in the epicenter of this area. And then I think I had SARS actually. I couldn't get up for a whole week. But the whole of Hong Kong, the whole economy fucking came to a dead stop. People were walking around with masks, everyone, the schools were closed, there was no work. Our last job, I got a little job playing in a TV series about the handover of Hong Kong back to the Chinese, reenactment, you know, and I was a Scottish soldier, you know, and that's an interesting little story. But so at the time, you know, it was dead, you know, so I decided, and then wherever you went, if I had to go anywhere else, they put you on a quarantine for a whole month. I think it was 30 days. You had to stay on a quarantine if you went to any other country. The only place I found that wouldn't put you on a quarantine was Cambodia. So I decided, you know, let me go to Cambodia. I'd never been there, and I went there, and I found the job straight away. Very interesting story, but a long story. And at that time, this was now 2003, after the Bali bombings. I found a job, 1 hour a day kind of job from this very tall Dutchman, a good friend of mine, still 7 feet tall. He was working for a Singapore school. I got a 1 hour gig a day, which was enough to live on. I think it was $9, $8 an hour. Just enough to survive on. And in Cambodia at the time. That time Cambodia was rough. Phnom Penh, really rough city. Looked a little bit like, I guess, like Berlin, maybe looked after the Second World War or something. You know, ruins, and people were a little bit crazy. And there was this. There were a few bars and stuff. You know, a little bit of nightlife. I went to this one bar called Shaki's. It was upstairs. At the bottom of Shaki's, there were two people in uniform that looked like police uniform, you know. So I started chatting to them. One of them could speak quite a bit of English, and it turned out that that they were kind of bodyguards of the chief of police, you know. And there was a little stall there, selling vodka. Vodka in Cambodia was wonderfully cheap. Russian vodka, I think Stolichnaya, which is one of my favorites, Stoli. Try that. Great vodka, ice cold in the freezer. You take it out, drink it with a bit of water. Best ever. So I think I bought 2 bowls of vodka. The 3 of us finished 2 bowls of vodka. The one dude handed me his name card. He was so happy, and I was like, okay, I put it in my pocket, and then I went upstairs. Upstairs, I fucking bumped in. I saw one of the biggest dudes, I think, in Cambodia for sure. The biggest dude in Cambodia. He must have been 7 feet tall. So he was standing around there at the pool table. I walked up to him and we shook hands, and I remember his hands were like huge, and I was trying to put a good grip on it, So and he looked down at me and he was like, "Hey, who the fuck are you, dude?" And we started chatting. He was very cool, And it turned out that he was a CIA agent, and he was there to prepare for the arrival of this American State Secretary or Secretary of State, what the fuck they call these dudes in America, by the name of this was Colin Powell. Yes, he was a black dude, right? So anyway, he bought me a few drinks. This CIA dude, they gave me his name card, which I think I must have lost long since. And I don't remember his name, but when I saw this photo of this guy, James Comey, the one that was fired by old Trump, I was, fucking hell, is this James Comey? Because they look so similar, and just maybe the size of them. But if anybody knows if James Comey was in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, in the year 2003, let me know, huh? Because the same dude that did the Bali bombings, Bali, the main brain behind the bombings, he came to Cambodia at the same time. He was there planning maybe to blow up the US and UK embassies and to maybe attack Colin Powell or these guys, So very interesting, And the dude was cool. I had the name card for a long time, but I lost it. So the point of the story was that, sometimes we hear about things, and then when you meet these people like the CIA, he was quite a human or humane, I would say. He was friendly, gave me a couple of beers. We had a couple of beers. We had a good chat. Now, just as a tail to that story, I think a couple of days later, I went to another place called the Heart of Darkness in Phnom Penh with this young Canadian girl, very hot, very sexy. I think she was like 18, 19, fresh out of school, traveling. And women, man, we were on this moto taxi. There's just a motorcycle, right? And then the 2 of us were sharing. We went to one place, then we went to another. She was supposed to pay. It was only like 1,000 kip, which is fuck all, which is 20 cents US. We went inside, and after a while, I heard some noise outside, like a crowd chanting, And I went outside, and this big crowd, gang of moto drivers, like 30, 40 of them. They were like chanting, wah, wah, wah. And I asked the bouncer at the door, what the fuck is going on here? And they said, they want you, dude. I'm like, what? I stepped forward, and immediately this, some guys with machetes came rushing up. So I was like, what? I went straight back inside, of course, and then everybody realized there's fucking big shit going down. Of course, fueled by shabu, which is ice or methamphetamine or whatever, This guys was high as kites. Now, they were pissed off because this Canadian girl, they reckon that she underpaid the fare. But of course, I was on the bike as well, so they didn't. And I was like, okay, fuck. 50 cents? Yeah, here it is. And they were like, no, we want to fucking kill you. I was trying to negotiate with these guys, right? But there was no negotiating. They were fucking just wild, the eyes, they were crazy. And it's just fucking machetes and choppers. And all the other foreigners in there, in that club, slinked out one by one, including this fucking bitch, the one that caused the problem. Woman, man. So anyway, long story short, I was the last one remaining with the Cambodian manager. And we were surrounded, this club was surrounded by this fucking crazy dudes, and still screaming, shouting, brandishing their, I thought I was gone, man, I swear to God. And lo and behold, just by accident, I looked in my pocket, I found the name card of this chief of the bodyguard of the chief of police. So I gave it to the Cambodian guy and I said, can you call this number? And luckily there was a phone. They actually had a working landline because that was very unusual in Cambodia at the time. Communications, you know. So he called this number. This guy actually had a fucking cell phone. Can you believe this? This chief of police bodyguard. And he answered it, and then this guy explained to him the situation. So he came over, and he walked in, you know, and he's still in his uniform, you know, and fucking mosquitoes. It's this time of the evening that they come out. And he said to me, come on, let's go. And I was like, well, there's like 40, 50 guys out there, you know, with machetes and shit, you know, you and me, we're only two. And he's like, don't worry, I have this one, you know, he pulled out his, whatever pistol it was, I don't remember now, but and he said, come on, follow me. So I was like, okay, this is it. I don't have much of a choice here, you know, this is my last ace, you know, up the sleeve. So we walked out, and these dudes were still chanting, you know, and he fired a couple of shots, and then they were like the Red Sea, you know, opening up and led us through to his motorbike, and we got on. And that time I was living on the lake. There was a lake outside of Phnom Penh, the Boon Kak Lake. I had a little $1 room on the lake, and yeah, that's my little story of survival, CIA agents, earthquakes, Bali bombings, all of that shit happening in Asia. Never a dull moment, guys. So if you ever want to, you know, hang out Asia for a while, I also teach urban survival, Black Shield, elite training. BSET is best. So keep it in mind. See you later. Cheers.